This podcast episode is brought to you by The Cry Lounge. The Cry Lounge is an independent publishing company founded by this podcast's host, Bonnie Orbison. The Cry Lounge transfers your daydreams onto paper. With 2 book releases the past 2 years, they are preparing to extend their service to other authors and other creatives. To get more details and support this show, there's a link in the description you can check out. The Cry Lounge looks forward to meeting you. My name is Bonnie Orbison, and this is my podcast, Bonnie's Legends. Welcome back to another episode of Bonnie's Legends. On a sunny day for me, I don't know how your weather is. My weather is good. And yeah, this episode has a special guest, and the guest is the class child. I have to say I admire her for now a long time, and I remember when I logged in the first time in Instagram, like 2017 or something. I remember that she was one of the first people I followed. Yeah, and I still follow her. That's like, we have 2021 now. It's 4 years now. And I admired her before I even knew I'm going to be an author as well. I'm a writer and self-publisher. I'm grateful for having her on today's episode. And yeah, let's get into the writer's talk. Have fun.
Ladies and gentlemen, the class child, or
Hello.
Charlotte Erickson. How you want to get called?
My name is Charlotte, but
Yeah.
my artist persona is the Glass Child. The Glass Child has changed a lot for me through the years because it was something that I came up with when I was like 15. And I think it was a way to protect myself when I started making music, when I started putting myself out there. I didn't want people to know that I was Charlotte Erickson. You know, I wanted people to kind of not really know who I actually was. But now maybe it's more of a way to remind myself of what art could be. The Glass Child to me is like a very pure artist.
Wow, this is such a deep meaning.
Yeah. it can have a deep meaning. It can also just be a name, whatever you feel like.
Yeah, but I feel the same. I always wanted to come out with my real name, so I always wanted to put up my books with my real name. And then I changed school because of bullying, and I didn't want that these people now I really publish these books, so I changed my name. And yeah, here I am, Bonnie Orbison.
Oh, that's beautiful. You know what? I actually feel your name is something you definitely can change through your life. I have had like nicknames in different cities where I have lived.
Wow.
Like I've had like groups of friends calling me different nicknames because I have felt like different people in different cities. Okay. And I've had times when I lived in a city and people called me a nickname, and then I moved away and I decided I'm not going to introduce that nickname in this new city because it's time for a new version of myself.
Yeah, that's also deep. You're a deep person.
Or I'm just good at recreating myself in too many different ways.
Yeah. Now I think that's, for example, I found the name Bonnie because I started writing a book last year and my main character was called Bonnie, and she was really like me in that moment, but she got her freedom back. And I always wanted to be like her. And when I said I want to call myself differently, I just knew I have to call myself Bonnie after my own main character, which sounds a little bit weird. But now I'm changing her name. And this book is called ID Bonnie Insane right now. But I'm changing now her last name, so I have to change the whole title, and now I'm gonna call her ID Bonnie Lou. And I was really like, wow, why didn't I came with this name? Like, this would be a great artist name.
It is. It's beautiful. It's super beautiful. I love it.
Yeah, so, but now I just say it's her name. It's her name.
But do you identify with the character? Like, is it some small part of you is actually this character?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For example, I suffered of depression last year. I didn't realize that on my own, but Bonnie in my book has depression. And a lot of people told me like, are you okay because you're writing a book about depression? I was like, I'm fine. But afterwards, I realized that I was really depressive, and that was kind of really, wow, okay.
You know, I think that we're very similar, because that's exactly what I did with The Glass Child. I think I through The Glass Child, I can write about things that I am not kind of ready to acknowledge in myself. Yet. Yeah. She sees things that I don't want to see, and she can word things that I maybe feel embarrassed to say. And I think, you know, that's like the magic of art. You can be someone else in it.
That's For example, I started writing because I wanted to be, it was a fan fiction. My first book ever was a fan fiction. And I wanted to be the daughter of the main character of a TV series. And so I wrote a fan fiction about that. And it's just, I think I started writing because I wanted to be someone else. I wanted to be with someone or in another town or with a person who doesn't live anymore. And now it's art. I didn't realize that at that time because I was 8, 10 or something, but yeah, it's art.
Yeah. And you know, that's also the freeing thing with art. Like if you're writing music or books or whatever, it's your reality, you know, you can take your reality, you can come up with details that maybe are not true, but it's yours. Like you can write anything you want and nobody can tell you that, but that's not how it happened or that's not true. Like, yeah, but for me in this book, it's what happened, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Or I have a good friend who recognized that I have a lot of I can identify with my main characters. But since then, this friend thinks like everything he reads in my books is me. And that's not true. That's not true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is, you know what, now we're getting into like personal stuff, but when I met my first boyfriend, I was sharing all those dark, kind of mysterious, a bit melancholic quotes, and he every day is like, are you okay? Like, what happened? Was it between you and I? And, you know, some people can just not separate between art and reality. And I try to, you know, explain like, I kind of find melancholy and the mystique in it very beautiful. And I can put that in my art, but then I can go outside and be super happy and easy. And like, you know, you're not walking around thinking about the poetry in rain all the time. You know?
No, you don't. No, you don't. I don't know. It's maybe, I don't know. We don't have to understand them. They're not artists.
No, that's the thing, right? It's like, this is our thing. They don't need to get it, but it's hard to like accept that not everyone understands what you're doing, but it is what it is.
Yeah, that's true. But like, like I was never a person who was like friends with my classmates, and then it turned out that they're bullying me. Then I changed school, and now I actually have really like classmate friends. But I'm still not the person who's like, hey, let's go out, let's go to the beach, go to the lake or something. I'm not that person. I really like just, I don't know, I like to be my own. And that was so funny because through this podcast, I met so many artists I look up to. And now we're like friends and always texting with each other and telling like secrets. And that's kind of really why I said to my mom, maybe these are my real friends. Who knows?
Yes. That's so beautiful. You know what? I truly believe you, just because you grow up on the same street or in the same city, and you, because of that, you end up in the same class or in the same football team or whatever, it doesn't mean that you have anything in common, and you don't have to connect to these people. And I found the same when I left Sweden, where I grew up, and I went to London. I met a community of songwriters from all over the world, and that was the first time I felt like, wow, there are people like me out there, you know.
Exactly.
And I think so many people, you know, you grow up and you go through the school system in maybe just one city, and they think that it's something wrong with them, but actually it's just, you just haven't met your people yet.
Exactly.
Your English is so good.
Thank you.
You're 15. Is it from school? Is that how you learned English as well? Okay.
No. So my brother is living in Barcelona, and I had an internship with him at his factory in Barcelona, and everybody's talking English. So I had to talk 2 weeks in English in a row, and his girlfriend is just talking English. So I'm really talking with them English. And then I just started talking to myself in English, because I was like, that's the only way I can talk to someone in English here. And since then.
Amazing. It's so good. You know, I didn't feel comfortable with speaking English until I moved to London, and then I was 18. But before then, my whole time in Sweden, my English was not good enough to like speak. I couldn't.
We're always getting, like in Germany, getting taught that like Norway, Sweden, Finland, they all like watching TV in English with subtitles. Isn't that something? Like we always get like they're good in English.
Yes, we don't dub like you do in Germany. You put a German voice over everything. We don't do that. So I think in Sweden we grow up and watch like TV shows and movies, and we hear English, but we have subtitles in Swedish. But I think still then, as a kid, you learn how it's supposed to sound by just hearing it all the time. So then when you do move somewhere or try to study it, it might be a bit easier to understand how it's supposed to sound.
Okay.
But you don't have this typical German English, which is amazing.
Yeah, I watched like days ago, I watched a promo video of a fashion brand, and this model started talking, and I was like, she's German. I know that. I hear that in her voice. And then she talked in German. I was like, yes, I knew it. But then I was like, because I kind of like this German accent. And then I listened to myself and was like, I don't have that German accent.
No, you know what? I think it's charming when you have some sort of accent, but I can't really tell what it is. You have some sort of accent, but it's not like the typical German one.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like a blend between the Barcelona influence and it's good though. It's nice.
I know. That's how I learned like really talking with people in English, and then they all come with their Spanish Catalonian accent, and then it just talk like this accent English. Yeah,
but it's good. So, but you do study English though, right, in school too, or in Germany?
Yeah, and I'm doing it also for I voted for my A levels now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's so crazy. You're still in school. That feels like a different universe. Wow, it's been so long I was in school.
Yeah,
I kind of miss it though.
Really?
Or
yeah,
I don't know. I just regretted it when I said it. I'm like, no, actually I don't. Do you read a lot of books, or what do you do? Like, Find inspiration and relax?
I'm a really bad reader because for one book I need a half year.
Okay, but that's interesting that you write but don't read as much.
Yeah, I mean, I like novels, but it always took me so long to read them. But like, actually, that's why when I read my first biography by someone, I realized that this is the kind of book, this is the genre I want to read because I'm reading it fast and I like it. So I started reading a lot of biographies, and my mom is a huge Nora Roberts fan, so we have a lot of Nora Roberts novels. And if I'm starting a book by her, I'm finishing it, but like in 4 months.
Yeah, okay, but that's okay. It's like you don't have to read fast. I think it's just as a writer, the more you read, the more you will see how many different ways you can write, I think.
Yeah, I know, because everybody's telling me that. Like, every author is telling, like, and I'm now in a community of writers and authors, and like they're always telling me like, yeah, I'm always reading and I'm reading so much, and I'm always like, okay, okay.
Yeah, I think the trick is, like you said, you have to find what you like reading, so that it doesn't feel like you're sitting there working. Because when you sometimes it can feel like that.
Yeah.
I have tried to read those like contemporary modern fiction novels, and it's the same for me. I have to read the same page 5 times because I swirl off and think about something else. But then when you find the kind of style and the author, and you sit there and suddenly 2 hours went by and you're like, wow, this really took me somewhere else. I think that is like, it's the best. And that's also, whenever I found that, I feel so inspired to write afterwards.
Yeah, but I think that's the kind of problem if I'm reading like novels, because then I'm reading one scene and then I have my own scene in my head, and this is so like I can't continue reading then, and I have to write. Oh my God.
Yeah, but that's good. You're a creator. Sometimes you just need to use other people's art as tools until you yourself feel inspired enough to go and create.
Yeah, I'm always listening to music while writing.
That's nice.
I can also write the without music, but that's kind of, I don't know, it's just me and my thoughts. And if I have the music on, it's just, it's just flowing.
What do you listen to? What kind of music then? Is it instrumental music or?
No, I actually have for every book an own soundtrack.
That's exciting. Okay.
Yeah, I've always done a favorite artist or favorite album. For example, the ID Bonnie Lou last year was Norman fucking Rockwell by Lana Del Rey.
All right. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. It kind of matches also, like, it's about depression.
No, but you have to. Yeah, I can see that, because you need to have the same. I mean, you can't listen to the happiest rock music while writing about depression.
Yeah, that's true.
Get in that mood.
Yeah, that's true. And now I'm just I want to continue ID Bonnie Lou, and that's actually so funny because now, like, do you know that if you're starting writing a book and then you're always thinking about how it would go on in the story, but then you sit down and write and it's completely different. It's completely different. Wow. And so actually the ID Bonnie Lou, I wanted to end it, like, I wanted to keep it really dark and depressive and that stuff, but actually now maybe it's because my life changed too. I'm thinking that it should be a little bit dark, but it should also be like this, a little bit happy. So I'm kind of now listening to Chromatics now.
Ooh, I don't know them. Is it a band?
Yeah, it's a band.
I'm gonna write it down. Chromatics. What kind of music is it? Is it like,
it's kind of really 80s influence. It's really the synthesizers and that stuff. And that's really like a change from Norman fucking Rockwell to this sound. But it's also kind of cool. Yeah, it just feels right.
Yeah, no, that's good. And I also think what you said about as you change, your book takes a different turn. That is I love that. That is the most beautiful thing. Like, as a songwriter, when you go back to an artist's catalog and you can see how they have gone through different stages, like there was a relationship there and it seems like they got lost there and they were really happy there, you know?
Yeah.
That's like you create a gallery of your entire life through art.
That's true. So what did you do when you knew you have the whole world for you?
I mean, God, I'm still trying to figure out what to do and where to go. But yeah, I went to London and then I was wandering in England for a few years because that's where people embraced my music first. Then I needed a change and I moved to Berlin the first time 2014, I think it was, because then Berlin was very different than it is now. It was super cheap to live here. It was very different from London. London was so busy and so many things going on, and Berlin was a bit more like raw and mysterious in a way. So I was here for a bit, then I moved away. I was in different places. I lived in Barcelona and Lisbon.
I read that of Barcelona.
Yeah, Barcelona was amazing. And yeah, but honestly, I came to a point where now there are certain things you always want in a city, you know? For me, as I'm a songwriter, I want to be able to go into sessions with musicians and artists. Yeah. I need to have like, this is a crazy, strange thing to want, but because what I do is sending out my books. That's how I pay my rent, by selling my books. So I need a good post service. That's like number one for me. That was a problem, for example, when I lived in Portugal, the most beautiful country. I would have loved to live there, but I sent off a couple of books and they disappeared on the way because the postal service wasn't that good.
Oh my God, that would be hell.
It was so bad. I went into the post office and I told them, like, I want to send 2 books to America. And they just looked at the package. They had no idea what to do with it, like how much do I charge. So that was really hard. But yeah, at some point it's like you weigh the pros and cons with every place. And Berlin right now is amazing because there's so many creative people here from so many places. It's just like a inspiring city, so many things going on, and it's quite cheap compared to like London and LA or wherever else you want to live. It's like crazy prices.
That's amazing that you find Berlin also inspiring, because my brother lived in Berlin a lot of time, like 2 years, and I visited him 4 times during that because he was close, you know. And then I started writing my first novel. What I didn't know that this will be my first finished novel. And it's playing in Berlin, actually. Yeah.
Oh, cool. That's amazing. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Could you imagine living here at some point?
I mean, it has this nostalgic. How are you saying nostalgic?
Nostalgic?
Yeah, nostalgic in it, but I don't know. I'm really like kind of. I don't want to live in Germany in the future. I don't know. Yeah, so that's kind of. I love Berlin, but I don't know if, because it's in Germany, I don't know if that's something where I can imagine living. Yeah.
Where would you want to go?
A lot of places. I really want to, like, when I have my A-levels, I want to really like living 2 months in France. I love the French. I love the French language, but because of my good English now, my French went really bad.
Oh, you speak French too?
Yeah.
Oh my God, you're like a wonder child. I can't even learn a 3rd language. That's amazing. And where in France would you like to live? Paris?
In the southern, because we have their friends, and I would just want to live for 2 months there, and kind of, because France is so beautiful, and I want to kind of challenge myself to speak French.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the best way to learn a language, though, to just move there, I think.
Yeah. And then I really want to like visit London. And then also Norway was somewhere where I wanted to go. But it's really like it's taking me to America and New York. really New
Okay.
York. Like New York is really, I don't know, I feel a connection with New York. That's really strange because I was never there.
That's
But I have
beautiful.
this,
I guess that's where all the book houses are, if you want to work with book publishing. It's like
yeah,
the
yeah,
mecca.
that's true. That's true. Yeah. But I think, I'm self-publishing right now and I'm always doing everything on my own. And I don't know if I want to do if I want to go to a publisher and he publishes for me. I don't know.
Well, do you have a lot of readers of your books already? Like, did you get a lot of people who picked it up?
Oh, these are just at the moment around me. If it would be in English, I think I would have a lot of people who want to read it.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of people who just talk English, but it's still the problem that I'm still writing in German.
Yeah, but that's okay as long as you can get a translator, But
Yeah.
what I always think is if you can get a book, like a bigger book publisher behind you, and they truly believe in your book and your story, then they can do a lot of things for you. But you still need to build an audience on your own, because the book publisher and the book houses, they don't do a lot of marketing for you. That's your job as the author, So I think that I say that to everyone who wants to write books. The best thing you can do is just to build an audience on your own, and then you can self-publish or go to a book publisher, whatever you feel like, but you still need to build your audience first.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but I also did bad experiences with publisher with this book, and so that was the moment where I said, okay, you know what, now I'm just doing it on my own.
Yeah,
I was really fed up about them because they were just, I don't know, they were fake maybe, I don't know.
Oh, okay, so you did work with a publisher first?
Yeah, I worked with actually Free were interested in this book, and all the Free wanted to have me and my book, but sometimes they were expensive, sometimes they just wanted to have it before meeting me, and I wanted to meet them because I wanted to know who the people are, if I'm gonna vibe with them. And I was always and because they were all at the same time, I was really just thinking it's all too much for me. I don't want to, because then I don't know, I felt like they're taking me away. They're doing something with me what I maybe don't like. And that was the thing where I was like, okay, maybe independence is better for me. Yeah.
So they wanted you to pay them?
Yeah, that's true.
That doesn't sound like that. I'm glad you didn't sign that. A book publisher should never pay them. They will give you money because they're buying your book,
Yeah, but I think today, I don't know, I talked with a lot of publishers, also some big ones, and they all said that I have to pay something. That was kind of...
That's not right. Don't ever sign those things. Ever.
No.
Because they are buying your book. So what usually happens is that they give you an advance, depending on how many copies they think you will be able to sell. And they will calculate that looking at your audience, how many people that they think will buy your book.
But they didn't do that.
No, then they weren't. They weren't doing a good job, and you should not sign with those people ever. And then they give you an advance, and it's kind of like signing a record deal. Exactly, you will have to recoup whatever they give you before you start earning any money, and they usually take a percentage of every book.
Yeah.
But you should never pay a publisher to publish your book. They buy your book, and you let them publish it. And then they take a percentage of it.
But they weren't like that. They wanted to have they said so much money of so much sold copies, and then 3 years I would have must work with them, and that was just that was a moment where I was still thinking I'm 15, I can do that.
No, and you should also always ask yourself what's in it for you, what could they do for you that you couldn't do yourself? Especially if they wanted you to pay them, what are you paying for?
like now I self-publish it, and I really did like the cover design on my own. I did the format and all that stuff, and I was really like, wow, that's cheap.
Yes.
Because every time I had to ask my mom, like, hey, can I buy this? I have to buy this program for cover designing this one. And she was always like, yeah, I mean, just look how much money they wanted from you. Of course you can buy this program.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, don't sign those things. That
No.
God, those things make me so angry. And you know what? It's the same in the music industry. When I started out, there are so many people who call themselves a promoter or a manager, or like they say, come play a show in my venue, and then they want you to pay to get to play. It's like, no, it's the other way around, because I'm doing a job. You should pay me if you want entertainment. Exactly. In your pub, you know. It's exactly. Like, and the problem is that they think that we're so young, and usually we're young girls, so we're just gonna giggle and say yes. And it's like, it's our job to like listen. If you want me to come work for you, you're gonna pay me, because that's a culture that we shouldn't accept anymore.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, but you got out. That's the important thing. And you learn from those experiences too. You have to go through them to learn and not do them again.
Yeah, I mean, that's always like the mindset my brother taught me. Like, every experience you will experience is a new lesson.
Yes, 100%. Always. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this was, ladies and gentlemen, the Glass Child. Oh my god. This episode was just a writing talk. We talked almost about nothing else. Just writing. I believe you listened out of this, that we're both passionate writers, and yeah, we love to write. We love to exchange experiences in this industry. I hope you had the same fun as Charlotte and I had, and I hope you have a wonderful rest Sunday. I hope your next week will be great, and I hope you will start wonderfully tomorrow into the new week. And tomorrow, a new blog post of my blog series, A Pretty Week, is coming out. I'm talking about loving and unloving, and how to be creative above times. And also, if you want to check out bonus content of this episode, then you can check out my Patreon, become my legendary listener, and you'll get bonus content of this episode and the others. And I hope you stay tuned for next week, where I'm also gonna have a writer, wonderful writer as well. And yeah, have a wonderful Sunday. Your host, Bonnie Orbison.